Hi, I'm Nate Seberg. This is One Day Ahead. So this video offers a pithy explanation of my Great Gatsby Teaching Unit, which you've either just bought or are considering buying. Either way, thank you for making it this far. If this is not for you, well then check out my Great Gatsby summary and analysis videos on the channel, or check out my other books. So what is in this unit? Okay, the first thing you'll notice is that everything is packaged three ways: PDF, Word files, and an open source format that plays nice online, like in Google Drive, for example. Whatever you pick, they are all the same stuff. The only exception is that I took the extra step of throwing all the PDFs together into one huge file. It's like, there's like 90 pages or something. I don't know. Some people like that sort of thing. I don't judge. Please don't print it. In any event, the files are organized into stuff to do before reading, during reading, and after, and then some miscellaneous stuff. But that is the only chronology here. This isn't a roadmap. It is a grab bag. Use what makes sense for your classroom. That said, there are two centerpieces that I think all teachers should use, and I will point those out when we get there. So I'm going to go for this video in the order of the giant PDF, and the first thing you'll find, it's the only before reading assignment, is called My Green Light. And it's all right there in the title, people. Students are asked to consider the thing in their life that they are chasing, the thing that they yearn for most. What we are doing here is teeing up some empathy for our guy Gatsby. We want them to relate. Anyway, it's a writing assignment. There's a little rubric. We are aiming for a clearly defined position and elaboration and clean writing. The first thing in the during reading folder are the entry tasks. These are anticipatory sets that correspond with the chapter we are going to discuss. Some questions are funny, others deadly serious. I have these on the board when students enter, and they respond to the question in a journal or whatever. These questions correspond to the content discussed in the analysis section of my recap videos. Next, I have the Did You Read quizzes. Actually, reading the book is the hill I choose to die on with this text. You cannot approximate the experience of encountering the text yourself. However, you know the problem. Many students will choose the path of least resistance, and instead of reading, they will turn to a-holes on the internet for pithy and mildly entertaining summaries. You could probably sort out who actually read, but you didn't become a teacher to run like a mini police state, to say nothing of like you're really busy. The Did You Read quizzes are a way out of this mess. I'm not going to explain it here. There are instructions, but they take almost no time, will make the readers obvious, and it's not oppressive. It builds trust. It facilitates honest conversation. Next, we go to one of the two centerpieces of the unit, the character illumination chart. I teach this book so that I can teach about character. In my classroom, these people are real and their choices revealing. The first 4 chapters in the book serve to highlight a different main character: Daisy, Nick, Jordan, Gatsby, and then 5 through 9 is everybody. And we spend so much time diving into these expertly drawn people that it helps to have a place to hold that thinking. Students will pull and analyze key quotes, assign them spirit animals, because why not, and capture the details that confess who they are and not just who they're pretending to be. Do this in groups, do it individually, whatever works for you. The character illumination chart will also connect to a capstone assignment in the after reading section. Next, Gatsby puzzle pieces. This one is fun. This is a collection of claims about Gatsby that appear in the book. Students cut them out and then arrange them into some sort of chronological order, and they attempt to construct a narrative where they could all actually be true. Things get rather silly, which is the whole point. All right, next up, literature circles. Pay attention to this one. It's because it's the other centerpiece of the unit. When I teach this book, I put student-led small group discussions at the heart of everything. To support them, I put students in groups of 5, and I assign each student a different role. There are 5 roles. We do this for 5 chapters. Every chapter we rotate by turning a page in the Lit Circle document. Thus, every kid will play every role. It works, and I recommend it. Next up, the NYC Incident Report. So you'll remember that dear sweet Myrtle runs into a little bit of car trouble late in the book, I couldn't find an Uber. Well, those events, they would definitely produce some paperwork, and I pulled the real New York City Incident Report for students to consider. Students include information that they can find in the text, and they make up all the rest that they can't actually find. It's fun, but in like a rather dark sort of way. Finally, in this section, vocab. I pulled 252 of the more difficult words from this text, compiled them by chapter, and provide definitions. Of those 252, I highlighted 64 of them as being both difficult and probably worth knowing. For those 64, I have vocab quizzes, again by chapter, and a final quiz. If that is your thing, it is right there for you. And that's all from during reading. In after reading, you will find a few ways to wrap this thing up. First is a poster project, which is actually more involved and legit than it sounds here saying it out loud. It's basically an essay in poster form. There's a clear position, evidence, elaboration, and an extensive rubric. The whole 9 yards. What's great here is that the posters are way easier to grade than full-on essays. In Gatsby Final Discussion, you will find slides with capstone questions on themes that we have been considering throughout, like was Gatsby great? Do Tom and Daisy deserve each other? Is Nick a spineless coward? All the greatest hits. You also have a traditional test and then my favorite, character autopsies. As I said, we consider this text through the lens of character. With Gatsby dead, students will cut him and the other characters up, trying to metaphorically understand what he is made of. And last in this category, if you want to show the Baz Luhrmann version of the film from 2013, I have a short writing assignment I use to tie in with that. Finally, we turn to the miscellaneous other stuff. There's Bingo, a protocol for discussing rich sections of text, and a look at the wild slang of the 1920s. And that's the whole show. I hope you find it valuable for you and for your students. If you have questions about this unit, shoot me an email, and again, thank you. We'll see you next time on One Day Ahead.